But in reflecting back, certainly it's appropriate to ask questions. And so my question is, knowing what happened at that time, have you had a conversation with her? Was there any inappropriate activity during that time?
At the time, nothing was known and nothing untoward occurred. And then there was no further contact with him. So I can't really speculate about that further.
We can all agree, I think, that Jeffrey Epstein was a monster, that he was empowered or enabled by Ghislaine Maxwell. I think we can all agree with that, correct?
I can't characterize their relationship. I think you can agree that he committed crimes. He was not fully held accountable for them, which could have stopped his predatory practices, perhaps, that continued for quite some time afterwards. And then he was finally indicted for serious crimes, and he was in prison, and then he mysteriously died. Mm-hmm. And with her, she was, finally indicted, tried, and convicted. And I think you have to look at it in the chronological way in which it unfolded.
Yeah, I think that there's varying degrees of culpability. She was certainly going beyond just being silent in her knowledge about the horrible acts that he was doing, but she was actually enabling him.
That's what she was convicted of.
That's right. But if she had not been enabling, if she had not been taking those steps, if she had just been silent.
Are you asking her to speculate?
I'm asking, would you agree that she would be culpable as well? Just in her silence.
I have no information about that, so I'm not going to speculate.
Okay. All right, with that, I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next is Representative.
This is sort of like off subject, but didn't you all require in the latest defense authorization that the UFO information has to be?
Out.
What?
They ripped it out. They killed it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought that had gone through.
That was my
No.
amendment, and it got ripped out.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that, so thank you for enlightening me. Okay.
Yeah, they've been killing it.
I didn't know that.
Next up's Representative Perry from Pennsylvania.
Good afternoon, Madam Secretary.
Good
Live
afternoon.
in a particularly beautiful part of the country.
Thank you.
Good for you.
It's very pretty up here.
Madam Secretary, once it was revealed publicly that you and President Clinton were connected, I'm going to use that term, to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, did you discuss the subject with your daughter?
I'm, not going to, talk about what I did or didn't discuss with family members, but I can tell you that it was something that was of grave concern to us.
I imagine it was, and I know that look, I think we could probably get a long way here if we could discuss or have a view into your discussion with your husband. I suspect you're going to object to that.
You're right, Congressman. Thank you for
But it seems
granting me that.
like these are reasonable questions. Did your
Congressman,
did your daughter discuss it with you?
Well, we were horrified by what was later.
Horrified in what way? We were all horrified of what we learned about Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, the victims.
Right.
But
Right.
did you discuss with your daughter, when you say you were horrified, the connection with her father and this Epstein episode?
My husband's connection with Jeffrey Epstein began and ended before he was charged with any
I
crime.
get that, but I said.
And so in retrospect, we all say, oh my gosh, that was like horrific. And why didn't more people know? And why didn't more people speak out at the time? But I think the chronology is critically important. If we were talking about post-crime, that there was a continuing connection with him, that would be unacceptable.
Right.
But it ended before he was charged.
I understand that, which is why I particularly said, once it was revealed publicly, I get that continuing to be involved with someone like that after it was knowledgeable to everyone would be almost an unforgivable sin. However, I'm married too, not as long as you, ma'am, but there would be questions in my family, even if it went back before we were married, there would be questions. And so,
Congressman, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I don't understand the question.
so my question is, did your daughter discuss it with you? That was my particular question.
I think, I can't recollect any specific conversation, but of course we discussed the horrific crimes that he was accused of.
But nothing about her father's connection to it.
Her father's connection began and ended
Okay?
before he was charged with crimes.
Did your daughter ever mention to you that she discussed this matter with her father?
I don't recollect that.
Did you see the photos of your husband with young girls related to Jeffrey Epstein?
I saw the few photos that my lawyers showed me.
Did you also see the photos of your husband with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell?
I have seen such photos.
They're out there, right?
Yes.
I imagine you're familiar, but I just want to make sure. Since seeing these photos, have any questions about the content, locations, general circumstances come to your mind?
No, that it was unfortunate that he ever, did anything with Jeffrey Epstein.
There was
but
no curiosity.
Excuse me, are you asking for an opinion? Or is there a fact that she can share with you that would be helpful? in
Well,
the
I did say,
investigation
were
and the
there any questions?
legislative purpose of the
So
committee?
if I saw, I'll give you an example. If I saw a picture with my wife, it's just really hard to be relevant. If my wife saw pictures with me as a grown man, hanging out with obviously or close to underage women, regardless if it was before we were married or not, it would be a question. And so what I'm asking you is, did any questions regarding those photographs come to your mind?
I am going to, just as clearly as I can state, say I don't see the relevance of your question, and I am not going to talk about conversations that I had with my family, especially my husband.
And for clarity, are you all asserting spousal privilege?
For clarity, we were looking for the relevance of her conversations with her husband and what she might have thought about her conversations with the husband. How does that help further the legislative purpose of this committee as they investigate the prosecution and investigations of Jeffrey Epstein?
I think Mr. Perry's questions directly relate
To
to
her
the-
daughter?
To what,
her
my state of
husband?
mind?
Her
What-
state of
what-
mind?
What possible relevance does my state of mind have to your investigation?
I believe Mr. Perry's questions, and Mr. Perry can step in if he would like, are directly related to her relationships
With her husband?
with Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell, and her opinions as it relates to
She's
her
here to give
husband's
facts, not
relationships.
opinions.
I am not here to give opinions. I'm here to answer factual questions, and I have answered
Okay.
for many hours now that I had no relationship because I never met the guy to my best recollection.
And I'm not
with Jeffrey
implying, and
Epstein.
you shouldn't aver that I've made that connection. I'm not implying that.
Well, yeah, okay.
You're still married, Madam Secretary, still
That's
married,
very
correct?
true.
Okay. Can you identify the man in these photos?
I can't see them across the
Let
table.
me get him a little closer.
So, just for the record, you would like her to identify pictures of her spouse? You need her here to testify on pictures of her spouse?
42nd President of the United States of America? That is my husband.
Okay,
yes.
how about the location?
I have no knowledge of the location. I have no context for the location. I know nothing about the location.
If you were informed that that's on Mr. Epstein's plane that
Do you like her to speculate based on your
No,
informing of that?
ma'am, if you'd let me ask the question. If you were informed that was on Mr. Epstein's plane that is known to have frequented not only the island, but other locations where sexual abuse, horrific sexual abuse occurred, would you have any questions about those photos and who's in them?
Objection, calls for speculation, states facts not in evidence. You can, I'm not instructing you not to answer.
Well, no, I'm not going to speculate. I'm
Okay?
not going to.
Do you know the names of any of the young girls in those photos with your
Whose faces
husband?
are blacked out, Congressman, correct?
I understand that. But the photos are out there.
But are you saying she should be able to know who individuals
No, I think
are
what
that
I'm
they're-
saying is that.
the photos are blocking?
What I'm saying is that in a normal relationship, you would probably ask the person that you're sleeping with who that person in the photo is.
There were so many things that
Oh,
I would like that to stay. I'd like that to stay on the record. Thank
A
you.
question in which you could give a factual answer.
Would be helpful.
Are you aware of a single misstatement of fact from any person who you know or believe to be an Epstein victim?
I am, got no knowledge of all the statements of fact that,
So at this point, the answer would be no.
I don't know. I have no way of
Please
knowing.
don't mischaracterize her statements.
Are you aware that your husband's name is noted multiple times in the Jeffrey Epstein flight logs?
I think everyone knows that he flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, as did many other people, including Donald Trump.
Understood. I don't know about that last one, but did you ever discuss that fact with anyone or any organization, that your husband's name appeared on the flight logs?
I don't recall. I mean, I've talked about it with my lawyers and others assisting in my preparation, but I can't recall specifics.
Are you aware of trips made by your husband on Jeffrey Epstein's numerous helicopters, whether piloted by Ghislaine Maxwell or anyone else?
Objection. States facts not in evidence.
I've never heard that.
Are you aware of the allegation?
No, I was not.
The allegation does exist in the record. Is that something you're curious about, Madam
I
Secretary?
have no awareness of it.